Question: how did it get out that you were 230? I saw Wade tweet about it the other day, and it's like, how the fuck is that public information?
Well, I went to a private event at a restaurant, and Shane Mosley was there, and I was just having a private conversation with him, and he like put it on a podcast. So
What's the problem with you being 230 though? You're fighting at what, 220?
heavyweight.
Okay, so
No, it's just like shocking to people that is how much I weigh. I think just because normally I'm fighting at like 200, I'm walking around at like 210.
all the way down to 185 was the lowest you fought, right?
Yeah. It's weird to me that I'm weighing 230.
I like it.
But since this was, noodling after my last fight, I'm just like getting to eat as much as possible, and it turns out my body can carries this weight super well, and I'm only growing. Like I think I'll get up to 240, and then probably cut down so I'm like way faster. But if I'm training for this camp right hasn't started yet, but if I'm training for this camp at 240 and then I cut down to 220, it's basically like I had a 20-pound weight vest on for the whole entire camp. So my muscles are going to be like so much stronger, and that speed will come through.
So obviously not all of this can be public information. There's only so much you can say, but what does your training regimen for a fight like this look like compared to other fights? Is there a different tactic here?
Same training camp essentially, but there are a few minute differences which I will elaborate on, but it's always the same amount of hard work and dedication. But the differentiators will be me being able to eat, which I've already noticed is so much better for recovery, and as well as sparring heavyweights. And I'll probably spar less because the heavyweights obviously punch harder and it's more intense. Taking shots.
I didn't even think about that.
From heavyweights, which is what I'm going to be doing this camp, and that's the two biggest things. But the third is that we know what Tyson fights like. Mm-hmm. So interestingly enough, with a lot of my opponents, there's not tons of footage. So for a lot of those camps, I couldn't prepare for Nate Diaz because there's no footage of Nate Diaz boxing. Yeah, we know he's a southpaw. Yeah, we know he's going to come forward. But what specifically is he good at in the sport of boxing? We didn't know. So with Mike Tyson, there's hours and hours of footage out there. Sure, some of it's from when he's young, but it's the same style. So we know exactly what he's going to do, which is to our advantage because we can train for those specific things to have counters built in, which also is fun because we've, again, never really had that. Even for Anderson Silva, we had like one fight of his, and he's really tricky. Mike Tyson is pretty straightforward technique to counter him. And to me, that's exciting and gives me a lot of confidence